for inviting us to participate in the event. It's been a privilege to hear so many advocates and activists for education from around the world, and I've come away from this certainly feeling like we have so much to learn in London, so thank you very much for the contributions that I've heard. The Mayor is very sorry that he's not able to be here today, especially because he always enjoys visiting Dubai, but he has recorded a video message, and in that will be a special announcement from him on how we in London want to contribute to this global campaign.
Hi folks, Boris Johnson here, Mayor of London. Very sorry, I can't be with you for the Global Education and Skills Forum 2014. I gather this event is known increasingly as the Davos of education, though this year, clearly, without quite as much snow as you expect in Davos. I'm delighted that you are concentrating on the role of business in education, because when I look at what's happening in London, clearly there are many, many ways in which we still have to compete to catch up with other cities around the world. We still have kids who aren't doing as well as they should be in numeracy or in literacy, and we're not as high in the PISA rankings as I would like. But in my lifetime, the position in London schools has changed. And you've got kids in our city, a great city with all its problems, now starting academically to outperform kids in the rest of the country. And that is at least partly because of the role business has taken in London in mentoring, in championing good education, in supporting schools, and of course offering young people the career opportunities, the aspiration that will get them going. And so that's why I'm very pleased with what you're doing today. And I'm thrilled that later this year, we in London will be hosting the Business Backs Education Initiative here in our city. Thanks very much for listening, and have a great conference.
So as you've heard, we're pleased to be hosting the Business Backs Education Summit in London on the provisional date of the 8th of September. And for us, that's a chance to reflect on some of the incredible things that businesses are already doing in London and measuring that, but also to urge them to do more. And we feel that in London there are some huge challenges. Like every country that's represented here today, we have some unique challenges in a unique context, and hope that business can play a part in that, whether it's by expanding volunteering, by mentoring, by encouraging more businesses to sponsor schools and educational initiatives. And we really need to find a way to ensure that the poorest children in London are able to compete in what is now increasingly a global marketplace in our city. So giving them the opportunities and the ability to be successful in that kind of environment. Thank you very much once again to the organisers. We look forward to further discussions.
Just to outline further again, these summits are going to take place starting with London in the autumn, and what you want to achieve, what you want the outcomes to be.
Firstly, I just want to add my thanks to Deputy Mayor of London, Munira Mirza. Please give her a hand. To use the convening power of people like the Mayor of London and his office is quite important to this. So in London, we will see them convene a group of business leaders from what is undoubtedly the financial capital of the world. I'm sorry to my friends from New York, but that is the truth. The second is that we will also be doing the same in New York during UN Week at the Clinton Global Initiative. We will also be hosting a Business Backs Education Summit in Hong Kong, as well as in South Africa. Now, the purpose of all these summits is to go and speak to business leaders in these regions and to get them on board. The Majid is being far too polite and say that we will cajole them. We are coming after you to make sure that you are on board with this campaign. There's one particular thing that I want to highlight at this stage. We have great companies in PwC, SAP, and Crescent on the stage, but we also had a few others sign up, and I just want to make sure that I take the opportunity to thank them And this is the way, this is the first wave, and I'm sure that companies that are represented over here at the Global Education and Skills Forum will come back next year in larger numbers and commit. So we also have the Honeywell Group of Nigeria, Majid Al Futain in the UAE, the Jumeirah Group has also come on board, Equity Bank in Kenya, and I'm sure many other companies will also come and support this campaign. The purpose of these summits is exactly that, to have that discussion, to have that dialogue, so when you come back in a year's time to this event, we're able to speak more authoritatively on this subject, and to make sure that investments from the private sector are directed in a way that actually is meaningful and works.
Well, thank you very much, and we do indeed look forward to seeing you all again in a year's time to see what we've all achieved. Thank you very much indeed, gentlemen, and Irina, thank you very much for such an engaging session.